Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back here to today's edition of Intuitive Angling. And man, I really appreciate you guys coming by the channel to check out today's video. Really appreciate that. And guys, today I want to talk about the fact that you do not want to be a pro angler. You may think you do, you don't want to. This video is not, I don't want to really encourage anyone to, pass up on their dreams, but I want to give everybody a reality check before they pursue their dreams, because after I get done with the video, you may feel a bit differently about it. And even if you don't fish tournaments, if you might find this interesting, sort of an interesting study of the dynamic of being what a pro fisherman is. So we're going to get into that in today's episode. Also, guys, just a quick thank you. I just wanted to extend a big thank you here from me and my family. Everybody that's been using that tackle warehouse link that I put in my description to purchase your fishing tackle. I know you guys get tired of me hearing saying about it, but I just want to let you know, me and my family really appreciate everybody that's been using and bookmarking that link for your tackle purchases. It's a great way to support the channel if you haven't done that. If you need to get some equipment at Tackle Warehouse, using my links, a really good way to support intuitive angling here. Really appreciate that. And also, guys, also just want to invite everybody, if you haven't had a chance, to please consider hitting that subscribe button here to the channel. Free and easy to do so, guys. That's a good free way to help the channel if you're inclined to do so, and much appreciated for the people that have there. Okay, every time I've talked about this a little bit in the past, but I want to go into a little bit more detail on this in today's video, because I get a ton of messages from people across the country, younger people that are curious about it, about being a pro angler. I mean, there's a lot of people that have that interest, and I feel like I'm highly qualified to talk about it because I've been a professional angler since 1986, and I spent almost 10 years before 1986, getting ready to be a pro angler, going through all the stages you have to get to be there. And I spent, close to 30 years traveling around the country and around the world fishing tournaments. I know exactly everything that is entailed in it. And I know the reality of the situation. And I want to say right off the bat that, and I'm going to preface this a little bit, professional bass angling is the most selfish career anybody could ever choose. It absolutely is. I want to get into that in today's video. And also, guys, I want to talk about this too. It's like, it's not that I want to squash people's dreams that want to be a pro angler, but I want to give everybody a dose of reality, because going into this, making a commitment to do so, it is a commitment. And if you're not prepared about it, it can really hurt your life in a lot of different areas. And I want to get into that in today's video. Okay, first of all, this isn't something that I've always felt like. This is something that I feel like now, and I've been feeling like this over about the past 10 years because of the change in the sport. 30 years ago, I wouldn't be saying this, because it was a different world in terms of professional fishing. It was a simpler place. It was a lot less competitive. There was more money in it. The entry fees were less. The payouts were better. The sponsorship opportunities were better. But what we've seen over the past 10 years is a decline in everything that was once great about the sport. The entry fees versus the payout now are terrible. It's the worst they've ever been. It's harder now to make money fishing than it's ever been. It's harder now to get sponsorships than it's ever been. There's more people fishing. It's more competitive. And the sport has been ruined by forward-facing sonar. You can't, the days of like the true bass anglers that have the most experience and dirt time on the water, excelling and being at the top of the sport, no longer exist. So there's been a lot of changes within the sport that have made me feel like this. Okay, so let's start, breaking this down a little bit. Why? First of all, let me get back to the thing I was talking about. Professional bass angling is the most selfish sport anyone can get into. When you're a professional bass angler at the top level, number one, you got to live it and eat it and breathe it to have any chance of success. And since it is something that has to be all-consuming, every other aspect of your life is going to suffer. Your relationships with your friends and family are going to suffer. You're going to spend most of your life away from your friends and family. You're going to be on the road going through super busy towns, 7-lane highways, staying in sketchy, not necessarily sketchy, but, just strange hotels and motels all the time where there's anything that could happen to you. All the driving, I guarantee I've driven way over 1 million miles pulling a boat in tournaments. You're in a strange environment all the time. You're gone. You're just not present. You're totally consumed with what you want to love to do in bass fishing, and your family suffers as a result. The only people, in my opinion, that really need to be even entertaining the fact of fishing professionally are people that have no girlfriends, no wives, no kids. They don't have anyone that relies on them. They have set it up where they can financially do it without putting a burden on anyone else around them by basically living bare bones. That is the only way that is really fair to anyone else. Because if you're a professional angler, and guys, I've earned the right to say this because I have experienced everything that I'm telling you about on every level, the good, the bad, the ugly. And I can tell you right now, being a professional bass angler is not fair to your family. It's not. Number one, just the fact that you're going to be gone all the time. And number two, the fact that if you're going to be successful at it, again, you're consumed with it. You're consumed with it mentally, emotionally, every part of your being. Because if you're not going to make it. So your family will suffer. And there has been a ton of marriages break up, a ton of divorces, a ton of stress and strife within families, a ton of people missing out on life in general by spending their life on the road fishing tournaments. That is a reality of the situation, and you better be aware of it before you get started. That is the big thing about it. Another reason why you do not want to be a pro fisherman, guys, is unless you are independently wealthy, which there's getting to be more and more. That's about the only people that do it anymore, is the people that have wealthy families and trust fund people and that type of stuff. There is no financial security in professional fishing whatsoever. Even if you're a successful professional angler, you're still not making much money, because by the time you pay your expenses, which is super expensive to do, and if you have a home life, you have to pay your bills at home, you have to eat, you have to pay taxes on that money. Even if you are considered in the top 10% of the most successful anglers in the world, you're still not making very much money. You could probably make more money working at Target or Costco by the end of the day, even if you're a professional, super successful. And on top of that, you don't have there's no safety net. You don't have any pension. You don't have a 401k. You don't have any retirement plans. Everything goes back into fishing. So it is extremely financially stressful, because let's say, for example, you're doing okay, and you've set everything up where you don't have a family, you're out there and you've got a little bit of a nest egg build up. Guys, if you go for 2 or 3 tournaments in a row without making a check, you have dug yourself a hole so far into the season that the only way you can even break even is to win a tournament, because the money incrementally is not there. So the point of what I'm saying is, on top of all the fact about the family issues, it's the worst financial decision you'll ever make in your life. It really is. Another thing about it, guys, it is very hard on your body. It's like the driving, the traveling, the standing up, the rough water in the boat, being out in the elements and that type of stuff. If you really don't take care of yourself, you're going to be in bad shape when you get older. You look at so many of the guys out there now that are in their 50s and 60s, they walk around like they're old, decrepit 80-year-old men, because their necks and their spines are all jacked up from being in a boat for 30 years. Super, super hard, almost like a bull rider in that situation. So this, like I said, I don't want this to sound like it's something like some downer. I just want to, if I can help somebody avoid the pitfalls of it and avoid making a bad decision, that's what I want to do. If you are one of those guys out there that after I just explained to you, it doesn't faze you whatsoever, and you're set yourself up like I talked about, then go for it. I mean, because if you're willing to live in a world of financial insecurity and you're willing not to have a family and you're willing not to have a wife or a girlfriend or kids, and you just wake up thinking about fishing and that's all you want to do, then go for it. That's, I hope you're successful. But for the majority of people out there, guys, this is not a sport you want to be in. It's like, if you have a competitive urge to scratch in fishing, just do local. There's local buddy tournaments. There's the MFL, BFL circuit that you don't ever have to be away from home overnight. You can drive back and forth from your house most of the time. There's a lot of different regional circuits you can fish close to home that you don't have to travel, and you can still fish competitively. And that is basically what everybody's after. There's something that's fun about fishing for money, especially if you can get a check once in a while. I understand it. I still love to do it. I still fish locally here, and I enjoy it, just that sense of it. I really enjoy not being away from home because every tournament I fish, guys, around here, the Toyota Series and the BFLs, even if it's a 2-hour drive from my house, I drive back and forth home every night. That is the way to do it if you really want to fish tournaments. But guys, I can tell you right now, if you have this desire to be a professional bass angler, you really need to think about it long and hard, because it's not all what it's cracked up to be. It really isn't. And never underestimate what I just said about the impact it will have on your family and how selfish of a sport it is. Because there's nobody out there that I know that can really speak to this as good as myself and some of the other anglers out there. And I have seen it completely wreck families. Guys, I have seen several, not just one, but several people that have missed the births of their children because they didn't want to miss a tournament. They had a tournament across the country and their wife was due to have their children. They left and did not stay for the birth of the children just to fish that tournament. When you get to that level of putting that as a priority over your family, that is dysfunctional, and it goes on a lot. So anyway, guys, just a few random thoughts with that. Like I said, I think about this a lot because, like I said, I've been there and I've done that. And one of the things that I try to do on the channel here is I try to teach people, things that they can avoid, things I went through that were not fun. And this is one of them. So anyway, guys, I hope it reaches the people that need to hear this, and we'll talk later. See y'all.